Good morning, kids. Today we're checking out a brand new video from the Ink Tank about giving legacy aliens ultimate forms. More Ben 10, more Ink Tank. Let's hop in. Now, honestly, I don't know what the hell a legacy alien is.
Good evening, Internet World and Universe. This is Orash, and welcome back to the Drawing Matrix. We are back once again to continue our Ultimates Overhauled series. Now that we've polished off the first 3 full playlists of Ben's arsenal, we continue down the road of the UAF era with a batch of aliens we label as the Legacy Batch. In this batch, these are aliens that have notably unique debuts and attributes. Today, we will be covering not only the Alien Force add-ons, being Lodestar, Wrath, and Nanomech, but we'll also be poking into Omniverse early again and taking a peek at Shock Squatch and Feedback. Now, I'm caffeinated.
Now, hold on, let me just ask you. Are you guys really going to use that design of Shock Squatch? I mean, it's interesting, but come on. It's literally just a Yeti with metal stuff on it. Not really that much of a design.
So let's begin.
I'm not just any drone. I'm half drone, half human.
Starting off today, we have the mini mechanical bitty boy, Nanomech. Nanomech was the only alien, not counting Ben Man, to have his debut outside of the animated medium of the franchise, premiering in the live-action movie Alien Swarm. He's also extremely unique because he's the first ever...
Well, I guess you could say he's technically semi-animated, considering that his debut was made out of CGI.
Species created by the Omnitrix itself, as a hybridization of Ben's human DNA and the unknown artificially created nanochips. For an ultimate nanochip itself, I always imagined that its abilities would be similar to Elena's in Ultimate Alien. You know, the swarm generation, mimicry, tech fuckery, all that stuff. But because Nanomech has that little bit of human in him, it gives me a bit of a different direction to take him in. For my ultimate Nanomech, I want him to be a stronger bridge between biological and technological. Because he has those organic bits and their ability to naturally heal, and the robo bits that work.
Okay, so you're kind of going for like what happened in Heroes United when Ben used the upgrade on Rex. Like, you're going for something like that, like a perfect mixture of biological in upgrade and technological in upgrade and then biological in Rex. Well, you know what I mean. If you guys saw the movie, you know what I mean.
Work harder, better, faster, and stronger, I imagine him as a sort of cyborg healer. For his main new abilities, I want to give him biotech alteration and enhancement, meaning that he can heal almost any physical injury or ailment by attacking it with little repair nanochips that his body creates. Because of the more organic nature of these chips, they would be able to adapt and mimic their host's DNA and leave them looking like there was never any injury to begin with. Combining this with his own swarm generation, Ultimate Nanomech, like Elena, would be able to create mimic constructs of living things, but his are a bit more unique in the sense that they are perfect living copies, right down to the DNA. Also, just for fun, they can still shapeshift and make tiny tech improvements to their hosts. If Ultimate Nanomech made Manny a brand new hand, it would look and feel completely real, just like his old one. But Manny could still like shapeshift it into like a gun or something. That'd be pretty cool, right? So, to recap, for his new abilities, he now has biotech alteration and enhancement, and he can create bioswarm mimics. As for his trade-offs, I'm getting rid of his bioelectricity attacks. This ultimate is a healer, not a DPS. Other than that, may I present my take on an ultimate nanomech that I dub Botfly.
Your neck is done.
Hold on, folks, we'll be right back. And we're back, and now that we're on to this, I gotta give my own words. Honestly, that's a great trade-off. Taking away his bioelectrical attacks, but instead making him able to literally alter the almost genetic structure and biology of a living creature is an amazing trade-off. Goes from being a fast, small attacker to a literal tanking healer. Like, that is actually a damn good trade-off. I gotta give you guys props.
Ultimate Nanomech.
Who's next?
You wanna fight? You wanna fight?
Hell yeah, Ultimate Wrath!
Most notably, Wrath...
Alright, now here's what you gotta do. Make it Wolverine. That's all. I mean, come on, it's right there.
is known to be the first transformation to influence Ben's personality at a drastic level. Now, there is an already existing Ultimate Wrath from Omniverse, but comparatively, you can kinda just chalk him up to being a reskin. He gains a couple new claws and adapts a new Kraven the Hunter aesthetic, but nothing else really changes on him.
Kinda pathetic.
Is the Penuncian vest supposed to be part of his body? For my take on his ultimate, I wanted to lean back into his wrestling aesthetic. Being partially based on former pro wrestler Hulk Hogan, I thought it would be fitting for the wrestling aesthetic to push his extreme personality even further into the ring by making him based on that kind of pompous, stuck in their glory days, washed up type of wrestler. Like, this dude is just toxic now. Wrath is known to be pretty much indestructible. The dude did free fall thousands of feet out of a ship just to get up and yell at the crater that his face made. So I believe that in the UES, that's what I'm calling it from now on, that with no real physical threats to him, that he probably would have just thrived and had fun kicking ultimate asses.
Hell yeah, he would have.
For his design, I based it primarily more on heavy-set wrestlers and weightlifters that have that kind of, rotund, strong paunch. These dudes are stacked. This is to show that Ultimate Wrath, despite his immense physical prowess, is probably a bit gluttonous and has a bit of a belly. As for his abilities, because he thrives, I don't really think he would change that much, because he doesn't have to adapt to anything. So I'm just giving him one new add-on ability, and that is retractable harpoon-like claws, meaning that he can now launch his wrist claws at enemies and pull them back to himself with these weird...
So you literally just gave him Scorpion's ability. Now he can straight up yell, "Get over here." No, he probably would say, "Hey, let me tell you something, opponent, get over here," and then files it to then pull them over to him. There you go. Someone make an animation of that. That's funny.
Hail-like tethers. The ropes made of flesh. I don't know, man. This, of course, is meant to reference the signature ability of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
There it is.
I'm also going to be adding 4 more of these harpoon claws onto his back, giving him a wider range of attack, and because I imagine him launching himself with them as a visual nod to wrestlers on the ropes of a ring. So, to recap, as far as his new abilities, he now has retractable harpoon claws on his wrists and lower back, and because I want to nix his one weakness of needing to breathe, his body now operates at a much lower amount of oxygen. As far as his trade-offs, because his body now operates on less oxygen, there is less getting to his brain, resulting in less coherent thought and fits of uncontrolled rage. Other than that, may I present my take on an Ultimate Wrath that I dub Hostel Gato.
Really? No, I get the pun. Hostel Gato. Gato means cat. But when you only hear it, then you think of Hostel Gato from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Okay, no, I actually see it now. Wow, that is, no, that actually fits quite well. Okay, moving on. Damn.
My magnetic personality
Lodestar.
makes me more than a match for you.
Next up, we have what should be Ben's most attractive alien in the arsenal. Lodestar was unlocked and teased in Alien Force Season 2's finale, but not actually revealed until 7 months later, 5 episodes into Season 3. Lodestar was notably the first brand new alien added onto the Alien Force playlist, but his addition felt more like an afterthought, overshadowed by the return of a handful of Ben's classics. However, he is the first alien to appear in the whole of Omniverse. I struggled for a while to solidify his concept. At first being more like a stone Rubik's Cube man, and then essentially just a magnetic version of Goop, I ended up settling on something a bit more abstract. For his abilities, we are pushing the magnets to the extreme and giving him ferrofluid generation. With this, he can produce globby blobs of dark magnetic goo that he can shift between solid and liquid states, used not only for attacks or subduing foes, but if an individual comes in physical contact with too much ferrofluid, it can be corrosive, and be used to even change the individual polarity of the person and make them susceptible to Lodestar's magnetic grip. Lodestar originally being made of these weird magnetic pillar stones made me want to lean him into the realm of like a biblically accurate structure thing. I don't know, just
I can
something
see that.
abstract and weird looking. I actually ended up coming up with 2 designs, and I couldn't pick between them. So now we have one that is more bipedal, that I refer to as Titan, and the other is kind of a dreidel made of crab claws that I refer to as Obelisk. They have the same abilities and are both
Okay,
inspired by
I
the
like
cool,
that.
colorful states that ferrofluid can take. To recap, for his new abilities, he can now produce density shifting ferrofluid, he can shift the individual polarity of a person to magnetize them, and I imagine that he now has full control of his weird pillar structure body, so he can now shift that around a bit to like, twist and
Ooh.
dodge attacks and twist into weird shapes. As far as his
That would be
trade-offs,
awesome.
I am very simply getting rid of his mouth. His head is already disconnected from his body, so he can't eat anyway. I don't know why Omniverse gave him a mouth. Other than that,
Why
may
did
I
they give
present
him a
2
mouth?
designs for my take on an ultimate lodestar that I dub Farewell, Titan and Obelisk.
Ultimate Lodestar.
Now, I like them, but here's an idea. Since, as you said in this one, he now has complete control over his body and can change its form and shape, why not have him be able to change between both forms? Like, he can take this one if he needs to, I don't know, walk around or something, and he can take this form if he wants to fly or needs to get a good view from above or something like that, I don't know. Oh, but still, out of both of these, I gotta give it to Titan as being definitely the better looking form. Obelisk, it does have the better name, but the design is, well, as you said, crab legs.
Next up, we have the big-footed conductive Canadian,
Yeah.
Shack Squatch. Now, many may chalk the Squatch up
Like
to
he's already starting out with a lot of stuff already, god dang.
just being yet another peanut in Ben's Electric Alien Gallery, but first debuting in the Heroes United crossover special, he is the first and only known alien to be unlocked outside of Ben's dimension. But we
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
actually get to see much of him until the show and art transition over to Omniverse. Now, for my ultimate Shock Squatch, the one I ended up settling on was the Monkey King. No, not that one. The Sun Wukong Monkey King.
Oh, alright.
Mainly drawing from his
Goku.
ability to summon and ride on clouds, I thought pairing that with our Yeti electricity would be perfect, making for a lightning storm theme while keeping the monkey business. So the main new ability for this ultimate is that
Oh, hold on. Then all you did was just make Raijin. And you made him be able to fly on clouds and control thunderstorms? Yeah, that's Raijin, not Sun Wukong. That's literally Raijin.
he can now use his
Hell, I mean, just give him some drums as well. There you go. Even more Raijin.
electricity to condense the electrons in the air around him, creating storm clouds. And he can send them off independently, or he can condense them in so much so that he's able to carry himself up on it and fly around like he's on a Nimbus. For an additional ability that I thought would just be fun, his horns are now so large that he can pick up radio signals with them. With this ability,
Ooh,
he can
okay.
listen in and interfere with signals, or even broadcast his own voice out to the airwaves. He can also harness
like
and
that
channel
one.
them into a large screeching burst for attacking. Anyway, to recap,
Monkey.
for his new abilities, he can now generate and ride on lightning storm clouds, and he is able to harness and influence radio signals with his elongated horns. As for his trade-offs, because of his new stature, his physical strength is actually limited mainly to his legs. His arms just ain't as good as they used to be. Other than that, may I present my take on an ultimate Shock Squatch that I dub Storm Trekker.
Oop. Oops, damn it. Oh, First of all, I apologize for that. That was kind of a mess up on my part, but now moving on to the alien.
Ultimate Shack Squatch.
That is just straight up Raijin. Yeah, I know he said that he was basing it off Sun Wukong, but he literally made it Raijin. All it needs now is just drums, and there you go. Moving on. I'm not saying the design's bad. I love it. I'm just saying, you know, it's Raijin, not Sun Wukong.
Why do you like feedback so much anyway?
Because he's awesome and cool.
Last up
here
on
we
the
go.
plate today, we have the static sucker full of swagger, Feedback. Being a retcon that no one complains about, Feedback was dropped retroactively into the beginnings of Ben's tween years and finally gave us an answer as to why he took the watch off in the first place. A very traumatic answer. But from the moment he debuted,
It's
Feedback
like, hey, why did you take the watch off? Looks at it, flashback. Like, no reason you need to know.
has been a kick-ass powerhouse that people adore. Now, when I call him a powerhouse, I mean it. He is the one and only OP alien that I actually really like.
Alright, get lost earlier, you fired! You stay.
Except you stay.
I wanted to lean into his cable cord aesthetic, so I changed the upper half of his body to be composed of more of those plug
Ooh.
tendrils that he usually has coming out of his head. He can untangle them to cover a wider range and reach. At the ends of these
Damn.
tendrils are sharp clamps resembling jumper cables. He uses these for
Ooh,
close
potato
combat
clamps.
in the times that he can't find energy to pick up. All along his body, his metallic nodes have now turned into brace-like cuffs that he can electromagnetically keep stuck together or dispense to subdue enemies with. And to solve
Nice.
his forced output problem, he now is able to store excess energy into various sized battery packs built off of his hip nodes. He can use these hip nodes to simply store the energy, or he can even break them off and throw them like grenades, use them as batteries, or even reverse polarity on them to create an EMP effect.
No, that
And
is really
because I want to
cool.
add
I
just
like
a little
it.
extra something for fun, he can now perform a move that I call Blackout Blitz, where, for a very brief moment, he can mass absorb all the light particle photons in an area, creating a
Damn.
temporary blind spot of darkness. Anyway, to recap, as far as his new abilities, he now has prehensile wireframing, he has sharp metallic maws, electromagnetic cuff generation,
Incredible.
storage EMP and bomb batteries, and a new move that I call Blackout Blitz. As far as his trade-offs, I am simply getting rid of his tail. This boy is OP,
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
he is staying that way. Other than that, may I present my take on an ultimate feedback that I dub Powerline.
Ultimate feedback.
Well, I gotta say, out of all of this Ultimate Feedback is definitely a good favorite out of all the Ultimate Aliens they've done so far. Well, Ultimate Feedback plus Ultimate Lodestall with the Titan form, that's definitely gonna be my favorite out of this whole episode. Oh, little fall. Okay, here we go. Let's finish this off.
Ultimate feedback.
Goofy movie?
And that is it! We are finally caught up to the point in the playlists where Ben actually has the Ultimatrix. And of course, coincidental franchise theming, the next episode where we start the actual Ultimates of the Ultimatrix will be episode number 10. People better start calling me
hey.
Greg, because I gotta round up the Andromeda boys. If you'd like to help support us, consider joining our Patreon.
Okay, I can't wait to see Ultimate Armadillo. That was personally my favorite out of the 5. If NRG's a close second.
It's only $1 a month, and you can get a bunch of exclusive sneak peeks and
Ooh.
behind-the-scenes content on
Off the
all our
guana.
project productions, like the 5 Years Later motion comic, our animated series and beyond, and a couple secret things we got cooking up in the back. Also, make sure to check out all of our other links below, like our Twitch, where you can hang with us while we work. We just started a new schedule there, check them out. And my socials, where I'll be
Nice.
posting the Albedo edits of these boys. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I am Orash, and I'm surviving. Are you?
I think so.
Peace.
Well, folks, that's going to be the end of today's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description below, and I'll see you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.